xAI acquires X in all-stock deal, valued at $80 billion. Elon Musk announced late on Friday that xAI has acquired social network X in an all-stock deal. The transaction values xAI at $80 billion and X at $33 billion, with $45 billion in equity minus $12 billion in debt.
Loop Capital defends AppLovin as shorts target company. AppLovin hires law firm to investigate. We think accusations of faulty conversions and fraud are easily disproved by speaking with performance marketers and measurement companies, Loop Capital analyst Rob Sanderson wrote in a note to clients. We have been very active on this front and are confident the platform is delivering excellent performance and driving meaningful revenue momentum. Sanderson, who has a buy rating and $650 price target, said any potential violation of platform terms of service is difficult to prove or disprove, but if there were one, it would come to the attention of Apple or Google. We would be aggressive buyers on weakness ahead of a major expansion cycle now underway, Sanderson added. Separately, on Friday, AppLovin hired attorney Alex Spiro of the Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan law firm to conduct an independent review and investigation into recent short reports, including one from Muddy Waters, becoming the third short seller to target the company in the last month.
SoftBank eyes $1 trillion AI investment in U.S. robot industrial parks. SoftBank plans to build AI-equipped industrial parks in the U.S. and may commit around $1 trillion in investments to the U.S. government. This would surpass the $500 billion AI infrastructure spending CEO Masayoshi Son announced in January. With U.S. workforce growth slowing, SoftBank believes AI robots can drive manufacturing development. Son is reportedly in the U.S. and may soon proceed with the project.
HPE CEO says AI data center growth strong despite DeepSeek, but tech is evolving. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise CEO Antonio Neri said AI data center development is still in its early stages, and demand will persist despite developments like DeepSeek. However, he warned that hyperscalers must be cautious as AI technology evolves rapidly. There is a rapid transition in the silicon, he said. You have to know what you need and be smart about it. The question is whether to build with this generation GPU or the next.
Foxconn plans to double iPhone production in India as Apple expands presence. Foxconn plans to manufacture 25 million to 30 million iPhones in India this year, more than doubling last year's 12 million, according to the Economic Times. With their Bengaluru facility also coming up quickly, they have set their ambitions a lot higher, in line with Apple's push to deepen their presence in India, a source said. Foxconn has been conducting trial runs at its 300-acre Bengaluru campus, which will be its second largest facility after China, over the past few months to ensure it meets Apple's quality standards. Analyst Laurie Chang of Isaiah Research estimates that India's share of iPhone production will rise to 21% to 25% in 2024, up from last year's 12% to 16% target. Apple is also expanding production of other products in India, with Foxconn set to begin assembling AirPods in Telangana by early 2025.
SpaceX challenges Apple's satellite expansion amid spectrum dispute. SpaceX is urging federal regulators to delay Apple's satellite expansion, The Wall Street Journal reported. The company is lobbying the FCC to block Apple's partner, Globalstar, from launching 48 satellites, claiming that its C3 constellation would use the disputed 1.6 GHz and 2.4 GHz spectrum. Globalstar's C3 constellation is partly funded by $1 billion from Apple. SpaceX and T-Mobile already have a deal with Apple to allow Starlink on new iPhones, with services set to start this summer. Amazon introduces new AI models for web-based tasks. Amazon has launched Nova Act, an AI model that can perform web-based tasks like shopping and making reservations. The new agent will compete with OpenAI's Operator. A research preview of the Nova Act SDK is available for developers, and Amazon has introduced nova.amazon.com for users to explore its foundation models.
Lucid gains as Tesla owners make the switch. Lucid Group stock has outperformed many automaker rivals this year, benefiting from consumer backlash against Tesla. Interim CEO Mark Winteroff told Fox Business that Lucid has seen a dramatic uptick over the past 2 months in orders from former Tesla drivers. He added that 50% of all the orders coming in recently are from former Tesla owners. In terms of tariffs, analysts view Lucid as well-positioned because the company's vehicles are fully assembled in Arizona, including battery packs.
U.S. sentiment drop, boycotts threaten GDP, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs warns that declining sentiment and U.S. product boycotts could negatively impact U.S. GDP. Russia and China are the only countries where sentiment toward the U.S. has improved, with Russia up 12 percentage points and China up 3, according to Morning Consult. Respondents in Russia reported a very favorable or somewhat favorable view of the U.S. Meanwhile, Denmark, minus 29%, Sweden, minus 25%, and Canada, minus 23%, saw the sharpest declines in sentiment towards the U.S. Goldman Sachs economists, headed by chief economist Jan Hatzius and senior economist Joseph Briggs, said visits to the U.S., which contribute 0.7% to GDP, are down 11% year-over-year through March 25th. Canadian trips to the U.S. have fallen 20% overall. Amongst individual companies, Tesla's net favorability dropped the most in Canada, minus 31 percentage points, followed by France, minus 27 percentage points, the UK, minus 24 percentage points, and Germany, minus 13 percentage points. Lithium Americas, General Motors, announce FID for Thacker Pass Phase 1. Lithium Americas and GM said Tuesday they took a final investment decision for the development of Phase 1 of the Thacker Pass lithium project in Nevada. Lithium Americas announced the closing of the previously announced $250 million investment from Orion Resource Partners, securing full funding for Phase 1 construction. The company has met all equity capital requirements for its $2.26 billion Department of Energy loan.
Amazon resumes US drone deliveries, eyes UK launch. Amazon has restarted drone deliveries in 2 US test cities after a software update. CNBC reported Amazon paused Prime Air deliveries in College Station, Texas and Tolleson, Arizona in January due to a drone altitude sensor issue caused by airborne dust, which could have led to inaccurate reading of the drone's position relative to the ground. Amazon plans to launch drone deliveries in the UK, with initial flights from its Darlington fulfillment center pending regulatory approval.
Tesla Q1 deliveries miss estimates, lowest since 2022. Tesla reported Q1 deliveries of 336,681, missing the 377,000 consensus estimate. Tesla said it produced 362,615 vehicles during the quarter. For reference, Tesla delivered 462,890 vehicles and 495,570 vehicles in the 2 preceding quarters and 386,810 vehicles in Q1 a year ago. This marks Tesla's lowest quarterly deliveries since 2022. Looking ahead, analysts have yet to cut forecasts for the year, with expectations of a rebound driven by the new Model Y, a potential sub-$30,000 model, and the Cybercab in 2026. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives called the results a disaster on every metric.
Amazon to launch first Project Kuiper satellites on April 9th. Amazon will launch 27 Project Kuiper satellites on April 9th aboard a United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral in Florida. This is the first of over 80 planned launches to deploy 3,200 satellites in low Earth orbit. The network aims to provide high-speed, low-latency internet globally, with service expected to begin later this year.
Politico reports Musk to step down from lead government role. White House calls report garbage. Trump and Musk recently agreed that Musk will return to his businesses while taking on a supporting role in government, according to 3 unnamed Trump insiders. However, the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt dismissed Politico's report as garbage in a Wednesday post on X, adding that Musk will continue Doge work until it is complete. Trump announces reciprocal tariffs. China hit with 54% rate. President Donald Trump announced new U.S. tariffs on imports, with rates ranging from a minimum of 10% to a maximum of 49%. Trump stated that tariffs will be set at approximately half of what the White House calculates those countries charge for American goods. China faces a 34% tariff, on top of a previously announced 20%, bringing the total to 54%. Other tariffs include 46% on Vietnam, 49% on Cambodia, 25% on South Korea, 31% on Switzerland, 32% on Taiwan, 36% on Thailand, 20% on the EU, 24% on Malaysia, 10% on the UK and Brazil, and 24% on Japan. Trump claimed that before 1913, when the US relied heavily on tariffs, the country was much richer and suggested that abandoning tariffs contributed to the Great Depression. However, the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, enacted in 1930, is widely blamed for putting the US deeper into the Depression.
Uber and WeRide partner to launch autonomous vehicles in Dubai. Uber and WeRide have partnered with Dubai's Road and Transport Authority to launch autonomous vehicle pilot programs in the city. As part of the agreement, Uber will collaborate with the city's Road Transport Authority on pilot programs, leveraging its technology to match riders with AVs. Details on the rollout will be announced in the coming months.
IonQ joins DARPA initiative to define quantum utility. IonQ will participate in the first stage of DARPA's quantum benchmarking initiative to determine when quantum computers can be used for conventional projections. As a participant in the first stage of DARPA's quantum benchmarking initiative, IonQ will play a critical role in defining what it means for a quantum computer to achieve utility-scale performance, which will be defined through DARPA's review of use cases and problem sets that require large-scale machines, while continuing to advance its own enterprise-grade quantum computing technologies, IonQ said in a statement. Musk reaffirms temporary special government employee role, dismisses exit rumors. Elon Musk reaffirmed that he will leave Doge once his work is complete, calling reports of an earlier exit fake news. Both Musk and the White House have emphasized that his position as a special government employee is temporary, with a maximum tenure of 130 days, which would end on May 30th. Tesla shares rose on Wednesday after reports suggested Trump told some cabinet members that Musk could be leaving soon.
Microsoft said to slow down global data center projects. Bloomberg, Microsoft has halted or delayed data center projects in multiple locations, including the US, UK, Australia, and Indonesia. The reason remains unclear, with speculation around slowing demand or construction-related issues. Despite this, a Microsoft spokesperson said that its $80 billion infrastructure plan remains on track. The changes we have made demonstrates the flexibility of our strategy, the spokesperson added.
Recession odds surge to 57% as Trump's tariffs raise U.S. risks. The odds of a U.S. recession this year have risen to 57%, the highest since late September 2024, according to Kalshi, a New York-based financial exchange and prediction market. Kalshi also highlighted that U.S. recession odds for the first quarter of 2025 were as low as 17%. Fitch Ratings added that Trump's Liberation Day tariffs have led to an overall U.S. effective tariff rate not seen since 1909, as they too significantly increase recession risks in the U.S.